At some point in your life, probably more than once, you have had a feeling that you cannot fully explain. A feeling that there is something specific you are supposed to be doing here, something you came for, not in the vague sense that everyone has a purpose, in a specific, personal, almost urgent sense that something in you knows what it is, even when your conscious mind cannot name it. You have also probably had the opposite feeling, that you are living a life that belongs to someone else, that you have been following a path that was laid out by other people's expectations, other people's fears, other people's definitions of what a good life looks like, and something deep in you has been quietly, persistently, sometimes painfully saying, "This is not it. This is not why you came." Both of those feelings are real. And both of them are the soul trying to communicate something to the personality that is walking around in the world calling itself you. Today I am going to answer the question that sits underneath both of those feelings. Did your soul actually choose this life before you were born? And if it did, how do you access that choice? How do you remember what you came here to do? How do you find the thread that leads from the confusion and the noise of the life you are currently living back to the reason you are actually here? This is not a philosophical exercise. What I am going to give you today is practical, real, and it will change what you pay attention to in your own life from this moment forward. Yes, and I want to say that with full clarity rather than wrapping it in qualifications. The soul chose this life, not every detail of it, not the specific events that would unfold moment by moment, but the essential conditions, the family, the culture, the body, the particular set of challenges and gifts that this specific life would contain. The soul chose all of that before entering physical form. Now let me explain what this choosing actually looks like, because it is not the same as a person sitting in an office making a decision. The soul before birth is not operating in time the way the personality operates in time during physical life. It is operating in a state of expanded awareness where the entire arc of a potential lifetime can be perceived simultaneously, where the lessons that particular life would offer, the connections it would make possible, the growth it would enable, and the contribution it would allow, can all be seen as a single picture rather than as a sequence of events. From that state of expanded awareness, the soul selects the conditions that most closely match what it needs to develop, what it came to experience, and what it came to give. This selection is not random. It is not accidental. It is one of the most deliberate acts a soul performs across its entire journey. The difficult family you were born into was not an accident. The particular city, the particular era, the particular body, the particular set of circumstances that have shaped your life. None of that was random. All of it was selected because it contained exactly the conditions the soul needed to do what it came to do. Now here's the part that is hardest to hear. The soul chose the difficulties too. Not because it wanted to suffer, but because suffering in the right conditions, the conditions that would push the soul toward its deepest growth, was worth choosing. The way an athlete chooses the hardest training available because they know it is the training that will produce the strength they are working toward. The soul in its pre-birth state chose the difficulty with full knowledge of what it was choosing and full trust in its own capacity to work through it. The problem is that once you enter physical life, you forget this. You forget that you chose it. You forget why you chose it. And the difficulty, which was meant to be understood as purposeful training, begins to feel like random cruelty, like evidence that life is unfair, or that God has abandoned you, or that you simply drew the short straw in the cosmic lottery. None of that is true. The difficulty is purposeful. The question is how to access the purpose it was chosen to serve. And that is exactly what I am going to show you. You asked how to remember why your soul chose this life. And the first thing I need to tell you is that the memory is not lost. Nothing the soul knows is ever truly lost. The veil of forgetting that descends at birth does not erase the memory. It buries it. And buried things can be uncovered. The memory of your soul's intention for this life is stored in 4 places that you have access to right now. The first place, your deepest longings, not your surface desires, not the things you want because society told you to want them. Your deepest longings, the ones that have been present for as long as you can remember, the ones that return no matter how many times life has interrupted them or other people have dismissed them. The longing to create something, to heal something, to understand something, to build something, to speak truth to people who need to hear it, to be in nature, to serve, to lead, to explore, to connect deeply with other human beings. Those longings are not accidents of personality. They are the soul's memory of its own intention pressing up through the veil of forgetting into conscious awareness. Your deepest longing is the closest thing you have to a direct communication from the part of you that chose this life and has not forgotten why. The fact that society may have told you those longings were impractical, unrealistic, or self-indulgent is irrelevant. The soul did not choose this life based on what was practical. It chose this life based on what was necessary for its own deepest development and contribution. Your longing is the compass, and it has been pointing in the right direction your whole life, even when everything around you was telling you to look somewhere else. The second place, your specific wound. Every soul that chooses a human life chooses a specific wound to work with, not because suffering is the point, but because the wound and the gift are almost always the same thing in different forms. The person who was profoundly lonely in childhood and developed an extraordinary ability to see and hold the loneliness of others. The person who grew up in chaos and developed an instinctive ability to bring order and calm to difficult situations. The person who experienced deep injustice and carries an unquenchable drive to create fairness. Your specific wound, the thing in your life that hurt most deeply and most consistently, is pointing directly at one of the core reasons your soul chose this life. Because the soul chose the wound specifically because working through it, understanding it, and eventually transforming it would produce exactly the quality, the gift, the capacity that this soul came to develop and offer. Look at your wound and ask not why did this happen to me, but what has this been building in me? The answer to that question is one of the clearest pieces of information available to you about why your soul chose this specific life. The third place, the moments when time stopped. Every person has had moments in their life when time seemed to stop, when they were so completely present in what they were doing that self-consciousness disappeared, when what they were engaged with felt so natural, so right, so completely aligned with something deep in them that the ordinary sense of effort dissolved. These moments are not random. They are the moments when the personality and the soul's intention briefly aligned completely, when what you were doing in the physical world matched what the soul came to do so perfectly that the friction of ordinary life temporarily disappeared. Most people have had only a few of these moments. Many people have had them without recognizing their significance. But if you look back honestly at your life and identify the moments when you felt most completely yourself, most completely alive, most completely at home in what you were doing, those moments are breadcrumbs. They are the soul's memory showing you the direction of its own intention. The fourth place, the stillness within. And the deepest place the memory is stored is where everything real is stored, in the stillness beneath the noise of the conditioned mind, in the depth of the soul itself. When you go into genuine inner stillness, when you access the presence of the source within, the soul's intention does not shout its answer at you, but it becomes available, in the way that something you have been trying to remember suddenly surfaces when you stop trying to remember it and simply go still. The practice of inner silence that we have talked about throughout this channel is not just a spiritual practice in the abstract sense. It is specifically a practice of creating the conditions in which the soul's deeper knowing can surface through the noise of the conditioned personality. The answer to why you are here is in you. It has always been in you, and the only thing that has been covering it is the noise of a life lived at the surface level of yourself. Now let me give you something specific and practical that you can do to begin uncovering the memory of why your soul chose this life. Sit with these 4 questions. One at a time, not as a mental exercise, in stillness, with a journal beside you and the genuine intention of receiving rather than constructing an answer. Ask them slowly. Sit with each one in silence after you ask it, and write down whatever surfaces without judging it, editing it, or deciding whether it is true before you have fully received it. The first question: what have I always loved doing, even as a child, even before anyone told me it was valuable or impractical, even when I received no reward for it? Sit with that. Let what rises, rise. The second question: what is the thing in this world that I cannot see without feeling a response in my chest? The injustice, the suffering, the beauty, the possibility that moves me before my mind has time to decide how I should feel about it. That involuntary response is the soul speaking. Sit with it. Let it name itself. The third question: if I knew I could not fail, and money was not a consideration, What would I do with my life? Not the fantasy version of someone else's life, my specific capacities. What would I build, create, heal, speak, serve, or become? Sit with it. Let it surface without immediately telling yourself why it is not possible. The fourth question: what has my life been preparing me for? Not what has it done to me. What has it been preparing me for? Because every experience, including the worst ones, was part of a preparation. The question is what it was preparing you to do. Sit with it. Let what you have been through speak its purpose. The answers to these 4 questions, received in stillness rather than constructed in analysis, will give you more information about your soul's intention for this life than years of searching in any other direction. What to do when the answers begin to surface. When the answers begin to surface, and they will, do not immediately ask yourself how. The how question is the ego's way of shutting down the soul's answer before it has fully arrived. The how is a practical question, and it has practical answers. But those answers cannot come before the what and the why have been received clearly. Receive the answer first. Sit with it over days. Let it become clearer and more specific through repeated stillness. And then, from that place of clarity, ask the how. Because from a place of genuine clarity about what the soul came to do, the how begins to reveal itself in a way it simply cannot when the what is still buried under noise and confusion. The soul chose this life with a specific intention. That intention is not lost. It is waiting, in your longing, in your wound, in the moments when time stopped, in the stillness beneath the noise. It has been waiting your entire life for the moment you would become quiet enough and honest enough to let it surface. That moment can be now. Your soul chose this life, with full awareness of what it was choosing: the family, the body, the culture, the difficulties, the gifts. All of it was selected because it contained exactly what the soul needed to develop, to experience, and to give. The memory of that choice is not gone. It is in your deepest longing, the one that has returned your whole life no matter how many times you set it aside. It is in your specific wound, the one that hurt most and built most simultaneously. It is in the moments when time stopped and you were so completely yourself that the ordinary friction of life dissolved. And it is in the stillness within, where everything the soul knows waits patiently beneath the noise of everything the conditioned mind has been told. The life you are living right now, however far it feels from what you sense you came for, is not wasted. Nothing is wasted in the soul's journey. Every detour was information. Every delay was development. Every moment of confusion was the personality catching up to what the soul already knew. You are not lost. You are not too late. You are not living the wrong life beyond the possibility of finding the right one. You are simply at the moment where the question has become conscious, and a question that has become conscious already contains within it the beginning of its own answer. Sit with the 4 questions, in stillness, with honesty. And let what has always been true about you begin to surface into the life you are still building. The soul chose this life for a reason, and you are not here by accident. Share this with someone who has been feeling like they are in the wrong life. Subscribe to Truth Frequency AI and come back, because the next truth we go into together is the one that takes everything we have uncovered and shows you how to live it.